Welcome back everyone to this week's bonus video series, Baking Coconut Tarts Outdoors. With school break just around the corner, this is a scene that those of us who have children cannot get used to. Both their activity and energy levels pretty much go through the roof. And in order to compensate for that, we need to ensure that they have readily available meals and snacks that will keep their body well nourished. Getting sick at this stage in their life is not even funny. So ensuring that I have healthy snacks readily available at the tip of my fingers is of optimum importance during this holiday break. Now we have the option of using the fireside to create some of these healthy meals. 1, it saves time. 2, it saves money. And 3, it gets them outside the house and enjoying some fresh Caribbean breeze. Outdoor or fireside cooking is what we predominantly used in the old-time days. So integrating a lot of the old-time traditions and educating kids nowadays about how things were done way back when kind of gives them a different perspective and a different way of doing the things that they do on a daily basis now. Now, when the year started, I wanted to test the effectiveness of the fireside to create the different types of meals that we would traditionally make indoors. So I thought it was a good way to integrate and involve the children in this project. Of course, at times some nighttime cooking may be necessary. Here are just a few of the dishes that I have made on the fireside this year. Of course, pot bake has to be in the mix, in addition to the traditional fireside pone, which is what I grew up on. We have to make it look fancy, don't we? I also tested my gluten-free pot bread, as well as I made some coconut rolls or roly-poly. But one thing I definitely wanted to try was the pizza, and it came out really well. One thing that has never been done is a chocolate cake, guys. And for a fireside cake, it was really good. Now we're going to get into the coconut tarts recipe. You have the option of mixing either with a dough mixer or by hand. I find using a dough mixer gives you a nice pliable dough that's easy to manage. You start off using a sweet dough recipe. You can find this recipe down below in the description or in a recipe book. Nowadays, I use less all-purpose or gluten flour and more gluten-free flours. So if a gluten-free recipe is something that you're looking for, just send me that comment down below and I'll get right on to creating that recipe, a gluten-free sweet dough recipe. Now in this recipe, I've added wheat bran whole wheat flour, chia seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds to the all-purpose flour, in addition to turmeric powder, which gives the tarts a really nice light yellow color. Then I've added margarine or butter, in addition to a little bit of milk and warm water and yeast to the recipe to give it that rise in the end. Mix it until it's a really pliable, firm dough and allow it to rise until double in size. While the dough rises, you can now prepare your filling. Your coconut filling mixed in with sugar or honey if you want an even more healthy recipe. A little bit of margarine and flavor your mixture with bay leaf powder, cinnamon, ginger powder and any other spice that tickles your fancy. After cooking for 5 to 6 minutes, allow it to cool, and in the meantime, sectionize your dough into about 8 pieces depending on the size you want your finished tarts to be. I don't usually give children too much at one time, so I prefer more mini-sized tarts for children. Ball or roll out the doughs, then use the rolling pin to flatten in order to accommodate the coconut filling. Now it's time to lay the coconut mixture in the center of the dough, ensuring that you keep the mixture within the confines of the dough so it doesn't spill out on the sides. Fold the dough in half and gently press the edges so that it doesn't open during baking. I usually use a fork to give it that reinforced seal so that you don't have any accidents in the oven. Do this process for all remaining pieces of the tart until it's all done and ready to go. After the tarts have rested for a little while, grease the pot that you're baking the tarts in outdoors and lay them until they fit perfectly. Cover the pot with the fire on top, ensuring that both the fire on top and below are very low and regulated so that the tarts don't burn. After 15 minutes, this is the coloring, and after 30 minutes, you have a finished tart ready to serve hot. Just simply glaze the top of the tarts with a sugar or honey mixture and water. And you may even want to add a little bit of passion fruit juice or some sort of flavoring to give the tarts a little extra zing. Brush the tarts with this mixture gently so that gives it a nice sheen and a nice sweet glaze. Now your children can enjoy this Caribbean sweet treat that is filled with wholesome, natural Caribbean sweet goodness.